Okay, let's proof some yeast. We're making French bread today, and I went ahead and opened my yeast. The yeast is jumping out at me. So, in a bowl, we're going to put a half a cup of warm water. All the ingredients and everything will be on my blog. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of yeast. I'm going to sprinkle that in there. And about a tablespoon of sugar. Now the recipe calls for a half a cup of sugar. So when we get to the half a cup, we'll just take a cup, or excuse me, we'll just take a tablespoon out. And we're going to mix this together. And then we're going to let this sit. After it's thoroughly mixed, you're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes to proof the yeast. Alright, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, as you can probably see, my yeast doubled in size, and what I'm going to do now is add the half a cup of sugar minus the tablespoon that we put in here. I'm going to add that along with the 2 teaspoons of salt. And this is 5 cups of all-purpose flour. You need about 6 cups. And we're going to put all that in. So just reserve a cup. And then in here, I just have some hot tap water. If you have a meat thermometer, measure the temperature and make sure that it is no more than 110 degrees. Mine's about 108, and this is just 2 cups of water. You need 2.5 cups. But I'm going to just put the 2 cups in, and just with a spoon you're going to stir it. And if I see I need more water, then I'll add the other half a cup. Looks like I will need it, so I'm going to go ahead and add the other half a cup of water. Just going to mix this until a soft dough forms. And then what we're going to do is we're going to knead it for 10 minutes, about 8 to 10 minutes, until a soft ball forms then. And you're going to knead it on a lightly floured surface. Alright, if you can see, oh, hold on, let me mix this up just a little bit better. Okay. If you can see, when I stir it, it's not really sticking to the sides, and it's not real dry either. It's still wet. That's what you want. So I'll be back after I knead the dough to show you what it looks like. Okay, I kneaded my dough for about 5 minutes, and if you feel it, of course you can't feel it because it's on camera, but it's almost like a Play-Doh consistency. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the ball of dough in a well-greased bowl. This is actually the same one that I used. I'm going to just turn to coat it really well. Alright, and let me just wipe my hands off really quick, because I'm going to take you with me. What we're going to do is, because my kitchen is not very warm, we're going to put it on this heating pad on the lowest setting, and we're going to cover it, and you're going to let it rise for about 1 to 2 minutes until your dough is risen double in size. And when that happens, I'll be back. Okay, because I used rapid rise yeast, this only rose 30 minutes. Look how beautiful it is. 30 minutes. And this was with just sitting on a heating pad on the lowest setting. I never knew that it would rise like this. So what I'm going to do is turn this out onto my lightly floured table here, and We're going to cut it in half. We're going to shape it into rectangles. I'll show you the process when I get ready to do that. But we're going to put it on a cookie sheet, and you want it to be the length of the cookie sheet. And it's going to make 2 loaves, so I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, now you see it's a big old blob here. And I lightly floured my table, and I'm just going to cut this in half. Actually, what you need to do is, what will help you, if you have a big butcher knife like this, you can either spray it or you can just put some flour on it, and it should cut. You can also use a pizza cutter to cut it in half. I've seen people do that on videos as well. So we're going to put one of these beautiful doughs aside. Oh, and they're so soft. I really wish that you could feel this. Alright. With a floured rolling pin, make sure you can still see, and you can. Just going to roll this out, and I can tell this is going to be, oh my goodness, I'm just really, really happy with this dough. But it's going to be a delicious, delicious bread. And we're just going to roll it out the length of our pan. Now, if you have a big baking sheet, by all means, you can put both loaves on the pan. Just space them apart a little. But because I don't, gotta work with what I have here. My other dough's in the way. Dagnabbit. Okay, that is good enough. So what you do when you have it like this is you're going to fold one side. This is so pretty, I'm telling you. You're going to fold the other side. And with the ends, you're just going to tuck the ends under like that. Now the tricky part is, if you have a dough peeler, use that. But you need to put this seam side down on your cookie sheet. I'm just going to move mine over here. Oh, this is really nice. And because there's excess flour, I don't really want the excess flour, so I'm just going to take a pastry brush and brush that off. Brush it off my dough. And we're going to set this on our heating pad until it doubles in size, or is the size that you would like it. Alright, and I'm going to do the other, and what you're going to do is just cover it with a very dry towel and put it back on your heating pad. And I actually had the heating pad on my stove. I have a smooth top stove, and I had the overhead light on too. So if you're using rapid rise yeast, you know, take a look about the 30-minute mark and see if it's risen enough for you. If not, just continue to go. But I will be back as soon as we let this rice double in size, or however I want it, and then we'll bake it. Alright, as you can see, my dough rose a second time. I kind of didn't make this evenly, but that's the fun part of a loaf. If you look, this side is a little bit shorter this way than that side, but that's okay. Now what we're going to do next is, or what I'm going to do next, is brush some melted butter. If you have salted real butter, use that. Just brush it over the top lightly. And when they come out of the oven, you're going to brush them again lightly with the melted salted butter. and just wait for it to cool. But if you don't have salted real butter, just use margarine. I only have unsalted here, so I'm going to use margarine. And when they come out of the oven, we'll brush them again, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, the bread is out of the oven, and my husband is brushing this loaf for me. I've already brushed the other loaf. And as you can see, excuse me honey, going behind you. I cut it. It's really hot. You really should let it rest for like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes so it's not so hot. And I know this is upside down. It's about to burn the fire out of me. But it looks good. Feels soft. We're going to try it in here in a few minutes. I already did that side, honey. Don't! Trying to ruin it. Don't make me put you on camera. Anyways, he's buttering that, and then we're going to try our piece here. Try the recipe. Let me know what you think about it. And until next time, see you later.